Return, Peachy return.
Let's talk about real life issues, love and relationships. Let's have a good time with the missus. Let's talk about celebrities. Let's talk about caring events. Let's talk about things you don't see on regular TV. So join in on Peachy Tea Time. Peachy Tea Time. Tune in on Peachy Tea Time. Peachy Tea Time. Come join us on Peachy Tea Time. Peachy Tea Time. Join us on Peachy Tea Time. Peachy Tea Time. Yeah.
In order for y'all to do what God is calling y'all to do, to take y'all platform to where it's a plateau and it can go to levels that you never seen, they'll best believe it's gonna come with devils.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. But I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up.
To hear a mother's cry.
Like you don't know when it's coming. And when you have that moment, I just always tell myself, it's okay. It's okay to cry.
They asking you to understand that this too can be you.
Trying to prevent shit. I got two small kids. I don't want this shit to happen to them.
This city to be changed. It has to change for our kids. We have to start creating safe environments for our children.
And what are we supposed to do to stop this? It ain't nothing they can do to bring their children back. So what they trying to understand is, how do we stop you from feeling like we feel? We got to learn to do that as a city, as a community, as a whole.
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, it's me, y'all. Hey. Y'all know I am going to wear that out. Okay? Do you hear me? I'm going to wear it out. If we pay for it, I'm going to use it. Okay? I'm going to use it. So y'all might as well go ahead and get ready, baby. The doorbell will be ringing. Okay? Thank y'all so much for joining tonight. I definitely appreciate it. We are live in the building, baby. We are live in the building. I definitely want to say thank you all. Thank you all for joining. I see all y'all out there one by one, baby. Can't see your face, but I know you're there. You are a number right now. So I see y'all and I thank y'all and I love y'all. Now, of course, you already know you can watch us on Roku TV. Okay. Now, Mama Peach ain't text me yet. I told Mama Peach to text me. Make sure that we live because y'all know we done switched systems now. So we should definitely be showing on Roku TV. All you have to do is go to your Roku, go to the search engine, type in Peachy Tea Time, hit download, baby. You can watch us live, okay? And if you are not on Roku TV, you could definitely watch us on three Facebook pages and one YouTube page. You can watch us on Twitch And baby, we everywhere in these streets. We are everywhere in these streets. And baby, do we got a show for y'all tonight. I told y'all December was special. December is special because we have mothers. We have mothers from all over that lost a child or two to gun violence. Okay. Not just gun violence, any type of violence. That's what the first 3 weeks of Peachy Tea Time for the month of December every Wednesday will be about. Last Wednesday was our last family. Shout out to Angela and her family, the Thornton family. They came on, they ended 2024 with a shebang. Okay. So if y'all missed that show, please go back and watch it. But I gotta bring up Charlotte. Y'all know who Charlotte is. She is our counselor. Jason is not with us tonight, but he will be back on next Wednesday. He will be back on next Wednesday. So before I get into our church announcements, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Charlotte. Hey,
Hi.
Charlotte. Charlotte, hold on. I forgot. Hold on. We gotta bring up Charlotte. You missed it. You missed that one
Okay,
last week.
okay. My bad. I feel like I've been gone for a whole year. Okay,
Yeah, we missed
one Wednesday.
you.
Okay,
One Wednesday. Yes,
one
and we
Wednesday.
missed you like you've been gone for a
Okay.
whole year. Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining. We always love to have you here with us.
Thank you.
You definitely speak the truth each time you come on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was beautiful, actually. It was beautiful. So,
Oh, that's so
family and friends and love, 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 love. So, it was good.
awesome, awesome. Now, you guys, we got to get into our church announcements before we bring the moms up. But this month is Christmas. It's Christmas this month. These kids need some toys. Everybody mamas ain't got the money. So we gonna come in and we gonna help out. Okay? Now, we can't fill up your whole Christmas tree, y'all. Okay? I'm just telling you now. I gotta be honest. I ain't gonna sit here and fake the funk with y'all. We can't fill up the whole Christmas tree. We can't make it look like that tree down there with all them presents. But baby, we could definitely make sure we put a smile on your kids' faces. Okay, that's what we can do. So please come to the Redan Recreation Center, 1839 Phillips Road, Lithonia, Georgia, 30058 on December 22nd. 2024, baby, from 1 to 4:30 p.m. Now, you do not need to call me. Even though I put the phone number on there, you don't need to call. You don't need to fill out nothing until you get there. Once you get there, that's when you fill it out. Okay. Now, my phone has been ringing off the hook, Charlotte, because I put it
Okay.
on the Ring app. I put it on the Ring app, and
Okay.
they've been calling and calling and calling, but it's okay because at the same time, I've been able to tell them about PGT time. Y'all know I
Okay.
love the network. So if they keep calling, that's okay. That's
I
okay.
just added it to my calendar to make sure.
Yes, because you need to be in the building too. We need your help
Okay.
giving out these toys for the kids. Now, next year, next year in March, the sale goes will start. I'm sorry, the sale will start on next week. Do not go on Eventbrite right now. Now, if you want to send the cash app, you can, but do not go on Eventbrite right now. I'm gonna have the link and everything for you guys by next week. But we are doing United Through Loss, healing siblings' hearts, one game night at a time, and these are for teens the age of 14 to 17 years old. And as you can see, baby, we're gonna have a lot going on. But at the same time, we're gonna be doing some healing. Okay? We're gonna do some healing. So I'm gonna give you all more details on that later on. Also, y'all, we gotta pay bills. We gotta pay bills, so we gotta show these flyers and everything. But remember me banquet. Yes, I will be hosting it. This will be on February 15th. February 15th, 2025. The tickets are $40. That includes the meal, not the bar, the meal. Okay. It is a cash bar. Now, don't think y'all gonna see me in there acting a fool, drinking, 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 drinking. No, that would not be the case. But I will have me a few drinks. Okay.
Okay.
I will have me a few drinks. Hopefully, I get mine for free since I'm the host. But shout out to Khadijah, baby. We will be lifting up her son, baby. We're going to lift him up and we're going to do a great job at it. And shout out to Leroy. She is a guest speaker. She is huge on Instagram, a motivational speaker. So please, y'all, get y'all tickets now, okay? Because I'm sure it will sell out. Just like my event is going to sell out too. So I'm telling y'all, when it's time to go, y'all better go. All right. Now, we got the church announcements out the way. Let's go ahead and bring up our special co host for tonight, for the 11th, and also for the 18th. Now, y'all already know. Y'all already know. I got to start with my sister. I love you, Tammy. You my sister too. But I got to start with Tiffany. This girl right here. Up, Tiffany. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, you gotta do.
Who is it? Oh, Tiffany, you gotta hit the mute button. Can you hit the mute button?
Mute.
Okay, there you go.
Listen, I love that doorbell. You better hit that thing all night long.
Baby, we pay for it. We got to make sure we hit the doorbell.
I said I like that. I
I
like the
like it.
introduction. I like when I'm sitting in the back room.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I like all that. The countdown.
The
I said,
countdown.
oh we. I told
Hmm.
Tamaria, I said, oh we. I said, make you just feel like you're just somewhere.
Yeah, girl, we done moved up. We
Feel the
have
I
moved
love you.
up.
anticipation.
I'm so proud of Eve Mux. If y'all want to do a platform, please use Eve Mux. I don't want to talk about StreamYard. I really don't. But StreamYard, they tried to go up on their price. It is what it is, Tiffany. They tried to go up on their price. We was like, no. And Jason found Eve Mux. And baby, when I tell you it's the best thing ever. I love their features. I really do. And I'm glad you like it too, Tiffany.
Yeah, I like it. And they ain't try to go up. They did go up.
They did. They
All
did.
the way up.
All the way up. When she say all the way up, because me and Tiffany talk all the time, she knows they went all the way up, and we wasn't having it.
Yeah.
So God said, you know what? You ain't finna stop Peach Tea Time. You still got some work you got to do. So he brought this platform to us, and baby, I am so
Mhm.
super excited. So Tiffany, 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 you are back again, and I love when you are here with us. I really do. I
I
have a
love
great
being here.
time.
I
I,
love being here. You know I
yes.
do.
I know you do. But
Hmm.
it's nothing like doing my show with family. I love when Tiffany here because I've been on Tiffany since I was 13 years old, y'all. And y'all
Long
already know
time.
this. And we've been rocking it out ever since. So
Show.
when she's on here, it gives me a sense of comfort just as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. And I know she
You
gonna
do
say, "Hey, don't tell
not
me thank
have
you."
to thank me. You don't.
I know she
You
gonna
don't
say
have
that.
to thank me.
Okay. Well, I just love
I
that
don't
you hear
want
that.
no praise. No, I'm okay.
All right, all right. Well, Tiffany,
I'm
I
here.
am
Guess what? I'm here because of what you do and who you represent on this show. That is why I show up for you every single time.
I
So
didn't
I
tell her to
thank
say that,
you
y'all.
and I thank God for putting inside of you your gift and your talent and allowing you to use it and for us mothers to be able to come on to your platform to be able to tell our stories. So I'm grateful and thankful to God that He sent you to all of us, that we even have this opportunity to stand before you and the world and tell our stories that are not easy to do. So let's give God all the praise. Let's give Him a
Big
shout
ups. Big
of
ups.
praise
Girl,
and
we got a
glory.
button for God too.
Yes,
There it goes.
yes,
we giving
yes,
them the
baby.
praise. We giving him the praise. But Tiffany,
Yes.
look, even though she said don't say thank you, but Tiffany, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because I didn't tell her to say that. I didn't pay her to say it either. But I know how Tiffany feels about Peach Tea Time. We talk about Peach Tea Time all the time. Tiffany is like a guardian angel. That's what she is, like a guardian angel. Tiffany always, like everything that she tells me that's going to happen with Peachy Tea Time has happened since day one. And that is no lie. Tiffany has sat there and told when I was reaching out to all these moms every week, trying to reach out to somebody, the dads, because I reach out to dads too.
Mhm.
Um, Tiffany said, Tanel's gonna come a time. It's going to come a time where you don't have to reach out to nobody. They're just going to come to you. And that's exactly what is going
Amen.
on right now.
Mhm.
They are just coming, coming,
Amen.
coming. And I'm just so thankful to God for it. And I see y'all in the chat. Don't worry. I see y'all. We got 29 comments. Okay. So I'm
Amen.
coming, y'all. I am coming. But let me bring everybody up. Okay. So let's bring up Tammy. But Tammy, you ready, girl? Are you ready? Hold on. Who is it? Tell me, move your head. I'm trying to hit the mute button.
I'm loving that doorbell too. I
Hey,
am
Tammy.
here, though. I'm
How
here.
are you?
Hey, honey. I
Hello.
appreciate you and I thank you. I'm good. I'm good. I'm definitely good. I'm sleepy, y'all, but I'm here.
Girl, don't worry. Just
I'm
keep
with you
listening
on
to me.
that.
You'll wake up.
Can you ladies hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
yep.
we can hear you.
We can hear you just
I'm tired
fine.
too, Tammy. I didn't had a long
I'm
day.
there.
I'm here too.
Mhm.
I thank y'all. I
We gonna
thank
get it
y'all.
on the road though. I got about a good hour
Girl,
and a
yes, it
half
has been a long,
in
but it's
me.
okay.
We got you. We got you. We got you. Cause
That's okay.
the
Look, we
recording will
got you.
stop in 2 hours.
Yes.
But Tammy, for everybody that's watching,
Hmm.
you guys have
It's
seen the
okay, but I thank
commercial.
you, Miss Peachy.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you so much, darling. But these are the two ladies that you all have been
Mhm.
seeing on the commercial, Tammy and Tiffany. So thank y'all for running those numbers up because when I tell you that commercial went viral and everything. So I really
Amen.
appreciate
Yes.
y'all for liking that commercial.
Thank you, Lord.
Continue to share the commercial,
Yes.
Hmm.
because that was a very powerful commercial. It really was. So continue to
It
share it.
was.
Yes, yes, it was very powerful. So
Hmm.
continue to share it. Continue to let everybody know that we will be doing this show on the
Mhm.
4th, which is tonight, on the 11th, and also on the 18th. Okay. So now we are about to bring up the mothers. Okay. We are about to bring up the mothers now. We are going to start with Miss Jackie. Who
Hey.
is it? Look, she can hear the doorbell. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry.
Hey, Miss Jackie.
Hey, Jackie
Hey,
Jackie.
Jackie, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
All right. How are you, Jackie?
Hey, how are you?
We are wonderful. We are wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I definitely appreciate your time and everything.
Definitely.
Um, but first, of course, we want to know because I see you have Zay's mom. Did I say it right?
Yeah, Isaiah.
Hmm.
Say it.
Isaiah. Okay. Well, tell us about Zay's. What happened with Zay's?
Look, whew, I'm like, am I ready? So,
Uh-huh.
Isaiah was my firstborn son, and on April 25th, 2022, at 3:30, he came across pure evil, um, and a 31-year-old man that was out on parole decided that he wanted the money Isaiah had, so he robbed him and shot my baby 10 times. And my baby fought in the
Jesus.
hospital for 29 days,
Mm.
um, and passed away on May 24th in 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
Well, my condolences to you,
Definitely.
to your
I
family,
love you,
and to your
I
friends.
Jackie.
love you, Tim.
Yes.
I love you. I tell people all the time, it ain't
Yes.
easy to get in before people and come to your reality and tell that story and be able to say, this is the day my
Mm.
child was killed. That's not an easy thing that we have to grasp that and come to reality with that. And to be able to say it to somebody else out loud,
Hmm. Yep.
it's not easy.
The M word is what I find
No, it's not.
interesting.
Mhm.
Or
We hear the pain in y'all, and we hear the pain in your voices when you are just speaking about it. We definitely hear
Mhm.
that pain, and I know it's unimaginable to us what you ladies go through to have to deal with something like that and to know something like that happened to your child.
Mhm.
I know it can be definitely an unforgiving sense, but I definitely know it has to be scary to talk about because regardless of anything, it's painful, and pain is always
Mhm.
scary.
Mhm.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
agree.
Yeah, but
Now,
I've been knowing
Jackie,
Jackie. I watched Isaiah grow up through Jackie. Her posts talking about him. Me and Jackie worked together. We were co-workers for quite some time. And she talked about her boys all the time. So I had the pleasure of knowing Isaiah and knowing that he was just an awesome kid and he definitely didn't deserve that.
exactly.
Amen.
Well, Jackie will be back on next year. This is Jackie's first time on Peachy Tea Time. So she will be back on next year in
Okay.
February, February
Mhm.
19th to be exact. And she will be here to tell the entire story and have the entire show for herself, for her family, and friends to where we will be able to elaborate more on Zay's. And
Mhm.
also, she'll get that tribute video, baby. She gonna get that tribute video. So,
Oh, they're so
Jackie,
nice.
yes, yes, you get a tribute
They
video.
are so nice. They
I
are
had
so
to
nice.
ball
They
last week. When
are.
you played the one from last week, I was like, oh, I was balling.
I tell everybody, make
I
sure you
know
got
that's
the
all.
tissue.
Listen, I remember when I
Woo.
first seen her play Minds live on her show, man, it puts you in a space, boy. Like your
Ooh.
reality
But
shines
I had to give
through.
credit
It
to the
puts you.
family last week that I was like thinking to myself, if that was me, I'd be a hot mess. And I'm like, oh,
Mm,
I have to cut the camera and just.
Yeah,
yes.
And just speaking from an outsider, though, even for the families, it's nice to see, and I tell everybody because a lot of times we don't think about pictures, but it's meaningful. Those are meaningful that people,
Mhm.
have pictures
Mhm.
of their loved ones and there's
Mhm.
stuff that you can't take away. Those are those memories that you can't take away. And then to put them to a setting so that everybody can view your wonderful loved one is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Amen. It is.
Memories. Memories.
And we
Yeah.
will be showing a tribute
Awesome.
video tonight just as well during the commercial break. Every night for each Wednesday, we will be showing Jackie, that's yours now. That is not Chewy, that is Jackie's.
How
Jackie,
big
you
is
gotta
that
put them
dog? That
up.
sounds like a
Couldn't
big
hit the
dog.
mute button quick enough.
There
Look,
you go, right
Jackie
there in
said,
her
I
lap.
thought that was my dog. I was like, nah, that's Chewy. That's Chewy. But we are about to bring our next mom up. We have down there the doctor, my friend. Look, I'm calling her my friend. I love Dr. Tyrese. We don't talk that often. But when I tell you Dr. Tyrese left an impact on me when she came on the show, she's an absolutely beautiful lady. Um,
Mhm.
her daughter was absolutely beautiful just as well. And here she is.
There
Hey
you go.
girl, you on mute. We
Hello,
need you to mute
hello.
yourself.
All right.
And she finna get it. How long? Can you get it? Look, you hear my husband in the
Here we
background.
go. You can hear
Okay,
me
there
now?
she go. Hey, Dr. Tyrese, how are
Hey,
you?
But
everybody.
it took me a
Hello,
moment
hello.
too.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. And now, please let us know.
Hello.
Now, you have been on here once before,
Yes.
but let us know what happened to your daughter, please.
Sure. First, I want to say to Miss Jackie, thank you for sharing your son's story, and I'm truly sorry for your loss. No mother or father deserves to have their child gunned down. So
Mhm.
just wanted to express that. In
No.
2017,
Mm.
I lost my beautiful 18-year-old college freshman who was home from on
Mhm.
spring break. And it was just a random act of violence. Somebody was just shooting in a crowd of young people. No rhyme, no reason, no argument, no domestic violence, just
Mm.
kids getting in a car, getting ready to go out to dinner, and somebody just decided to just shoot. And so, and
Mm.
that was
Ah,
on that was on March 20th, and
Mm.
on March she stayed alive 12 hours trying to fight for her life, and she
Mm.
succumbed to her injuries.
Wow.
Jesus.
yeah.
Now we are
So
about
sorry you had to experience that. So
Thank
sorry.
you so
That's
much.
really
Jesus.
terrible.
I just
Yes.
ask that God just give us all comfort and give us courage to keep
Yeah.
sharing our stories with the world because
Mhm.
it's so important because like death has become normalized for our young children. When somebody get
It
killed, it's
is.
just like, oh, okay. You know, it's like everybody is so numb to it. It's just
It
so
is.
normalized for young kids to get murdered and it shouldn't be that way. Like it's not normal. It's not
Yeah.
normal that I bury
Mm.
my children
It
before me.
absolutely isn't
You know,
normal.
like
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
insane, you know?
It
exactly.
is. And
Tiffany,
I'm a
I'm glad you
therapist.
said that because you are right. People are normalizing that, and that is absolutely not the case. It nothing
Hmm.
about that is normal. No
No.
I,
mother, and I'm first gonna say before I say that, I applaud each and every one of you ladies that has lost your children, and you are definitely strong enough to be here with us. I tell some of my girlfriends, some of my family members, I tell them each and every time I see them that I am very proud of you. I'm so proud of you, ladies, for living because I know that life after losing a child has to be ultimately one of the worst
Unbearable.
things you have to ever experience,
It's very
ever go through.
unbearable.
And to be able
Hmm.
to live through that, and I know it's a day by day thing, but just to see you ladies here living, it just gives me so much hope, and I applaud you ladies so much for living.
It's a
thank you.
second by second because at any given second you can literally go from just being or feeling as if everything is okay and then all of a sudden that next second you're just crying or you're screaming or you're yelling, you know, it just you go from
Mm,
angry to happy. It just it and that's at any given second and people don't understand that when it comes to trauma, when it comes to us as mothers, we are nurturers by nature, you know, and we carry our children, you know, we
Forever.
carry our children, we connect with our children long before the world ever gets to see them. We have already
right.
bonded with them inside of us, you know, and to
Yeah.
get that phone call that your child has been shot and then to get there and they're deceased, that's the most unbearable thing you can ever do to somebody. Like that's like torture for the rest of your life. Like that it's like waking
Mm,
up every day in the same nightmare over and over and over again, and every day you have to figure out, Lord, how to help me cope with this. You know, how do I find comfort today? How do I even wake up to have to go to work today? And people don't understand that, and I say that all the time at my job. Like I work at at a surgeon's office, but the problems that people call with, and I'm just like, wow, if I could just tell them a smidget of my life, that what it took for God to even be able to give me the strength to roll out of bed today, you know, how I just wanted to
mm,
scream, how I feel like I'm fighting not to lose my mind, and y'all calling up here with petty stuff, you know, and it just
baby,
really just
babe.
so blessed to let you know how awesome God is, because if it had not be for
Yes.
him, I couldn't even be able to stand before y'all today. It's all
Exactly.
him.
But
Well, we got one more mom
Amen.
that we have to bring up. That is John Dale. And here go that doorbell ring, John Dale. Hey, girl. Wait, John Dale probably down there. Did they forget us? What
Right.
are
I'm
you
like, oh
doing
my
We
God,
sorry,
in
I'm
John
tired.
Dale. We sorry. We just running our mouth.
I'm like, I'm tired.
We
Right.
apologize.
Hey, John Dale. Thank you so, so much, John Dale.
Well,
Please, please tell us about your baby.
Well, my son name was Nasir Reddick. He was 20 years old when he was murdered.
Mm,
Memorial Day weekend 2015. So May the 25th, 2015. I got that call and I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it because I know, like in my mind, ain't nobody killed my child.
hmm,
Mm.
mm,
And it was like
Jesus.
jump up, go to the hospital. Wow. Like just wow. Like I couldn't believe it. I was numb. Like I was numb. I seen all the blood on his best friend's shirt.
Mm, mm,
And it was like my baby going. And it was like he didn't like he was his best friend was there holding him. So, my baby wasn't alone,
Amen.
but
Amen. Yes,
it's
Jesus.
like the impact that we all left with now.
mm,
Yeah.
My son had what, three children, one on the way.
Jesus.
Oh my.
Jesus.
So we was blessed to have uh Nasir Jr. come along, but it's
Mm,
still nothing like having my son. Like I want my son. But
mhm.
my grandson,
Right.
that's my baby too, because he is my son all over again.
All over again.
He's everything like he's my son all over again.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Now let's go back to Tiffany. Because I strategically did it this way. Tiffany, please let everyone know what happened to your babies.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Tiffany, and I lost my first child back in June 7th of 2012. My son TJ, he was only 12 years old. His last day of sixth grade, and he stayed the night at my parents' house, the safest place he could ever be in the world, like any other time. And somebody decided that night that they wanted to shoot my parents' house up. Said they seen somebody coming in through the back door, shot the house up. The only people was in the house was my 12-year-old son, my 17-year-old daughter in another room, and my dad was sleeping in his bed. And they decided to shoot the house up. And my 12-year-old son caught a bullet through his right side and pierced through holes in his chest with an AK-47
Ugh.
at 12 years old. And I never forget how I felt when I got that phone call. Like literally when John Dale said you feel numb, your body just go numb. I feel like the world had stopped from the moment I got that phone call. And all I could focus on was getting to the hospital to see my baby. And then when they pronounced him dead at the hospital, oh my God, you talking about a mother's cry. When you talk about that scream, I felt like my whole heart had just shattered, just shattered. And so, I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I can talk all day, but moving forward, my second death was my daughter. She was 26 years old. Just like John Dale said, my daughter was just at a party, hanging out, no rhyme, no reason. Some guys decided they want to come through the backyard of the house from the bushes and just start shooting like they was on a battlefield. And it took the life of my 26-year-old daughter 3 years ago on July 31st of 2021. And I was an hour and 45 minutes away from her when I got that phone call. And my son, my baby boy, had to call to tell me that his sister got shot in the back. But later on, found out she got shot in the back. She got shot in the left arm. She also got shot in her legs. And to go through that a second time, I just kept saying, nah, like, God, I just know, like, she gonna be okay because there's no way you gonna allow this to happen to me again. And
Mm.
When they pronounced her dead, I was 35 minutes away from getting off the exit to the hospital to see her. And when I tell y'all, I yelled and screamed in that car so loud driving home. It's like everything was sucked out of me. And I'm talking about, you want to talk about pain, not sleeping, staying up. I was probably staying up 4 or 5 days, not eating, just staying up, just up. Mine can't rest. When I do go to sleep, but I am able to rest, I'm waking up in the middle of the night, just literally screaming out to God, like, please make it stop, make the pain stop. The pain is so excruciating, like to describe what I felt. I can't even describe it to nobody, but when I tell you we should not have to experience that, we should not have to feel that. It's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's
Um,
definitely terrible. You ladies are going through that. That's terrible because what exactly is going through the minds of these folks that are just randomly shooting up into areas and literally taking the lives of people, innocent people, like that had, like, what kind of mindset do you have to go out and just decide that today is going to be the day that I'm just going to shoot up in a crowd of people, not knowing whose life you're going to take, who's going to be hurt, who's going to be left behind to deal with your random act of ignorance. Like, I just don't even
Mhm.
understand that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Well, there's a
Well,
lack
I would like
of
to say that it's unresolved trauma. I'm a therapist and I work with everybody from the block to the boardroom. I train police officers, and it's in our community, and I have to say in our community because blacks are most impacted, our black and brown people, our black and
Mhm.
brown boys.
Yes.
It's some of the stuff that we have unfortunately told our kids, and they don't know how to express their feelings. They are not seen and they are not heard. And so they act out. And when they don't act out, the other end of that is they kill themselves. They're reckless. They
Hmm.
don't have self love. They don't feel
value of
valued. They
life.
don't value other lives.
Right.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that
Right.
and we keep
Mhm.
asking lawmakers to make changes in the laws, but you cannot legislate the hearts of boys and men.
Yeah.
So laws are
Yeah.
fine
Mhm.
and we do
Oh, you
need
said
them,
that.
but if we don't do
Mm.
something with our children before they get to this, if we don't understand how to parent boys,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And
Children. Let's start with
unfortunately
Right.
yes.
with children too, because
I'm going to
girls can
say
be just as
children.
rough.
Hmm.
Girls can
Yes,
be
they
just
are.
as,
They are.
but we are seeing
Hmm.
our children, because, and I know most mothers will not agree with me, but I still feel this way, is that even when these perpetrators are killing our children, it's still a double loss for the community, because now we have children who are in prison for the rest of their lives
It
and
affects
subject to a lot of
everybody.
other things. And really what it is that it's unhealed trauma
And it keeps
in our community, and we
it's a
got to be able
cycle.
to, we got to find ways to address it so that we are not continuing to see mothers who are hurt, and mothers are not losing multiple children, and that mothers are not devastated because their children have turned into little monsters and now are in prison.
Yes, most
Right.
definitely.
I
We've got
absolutely
to take
agree
our
with you,
streets back.
Dr. Tyrese.
Yeah.
Say
I do.
again.
I mean, I'm not a therapist, and that's my, that has been what I have been saying to people for the longest. Like, this stuff starts in the household. Like, we have to pay more attention to our children. We really need to
Mhm.
hear our children. We need to understand what they are going through, and we have to take accountability for what they are going through. You know,
But we also
and
have
as
to
you
heal
said, a lot of things.
ourselves. We also have to
Yes,
heal
we
ourselves,
do.
because a lot of times we're talking, we're like third, fourth, fifth generation in of unhealed
Mhm.
adverse childhood
Mhm.
Right.
experiences. We inflict
And
them
it
on
keeps
our
going.
children
Mhm.
unknowingly, and society doesn't make it better. And to be honest with y'all, the next 4 years is going to be very interesting for all of
Mhm.
us.
It's
Yes, it
it's a
is.
cycle and we've
And
got
that's what I
to
mean by accountability, healing. But we, as a black community, we don't understand the word healing. We use it loosely, but we don't really take to heart that word. We don't really use that as a tool and understand that that is truly something we need to do. Like you said, from generations back. Mhm.
But then
Well, and the
also,
issue
we
is
don't
really
even
that it's
know
very
how what
painful.
healing means and
It
what healing represents, because what does that look like in our community, in the black and brown community? What
because
does
it's
that
but
healing
always
even
look
been
when
like?
people
hidden.
And where are
know,
the people here to show us or teach us how to develop those skills to heal?
but
We
when
have
people
such a
know,
setup
because
for
it's so
I think at
painful,
ourselves.
some
people
time,
won't do
mhm,
it. People
Yeah,
don't.
we
People
right.
can't engage in it
We
because
don't.
it is so painful.
and we have
Because it
set up
take a
It
for
is
lot to
so
look for
painful.
long.
self.
We've hid everything in households, that that
Mhm.
old saying of what goes on in
It
your
goes on
house
here,
stays
stays here.
in. And so it has hit
Oh yeah.
our
I think
base
every
the most.
household, especially black and brown, have heard those
Oh, most
words.
definitely. And so the fact is
Mm,
that we have lost touch with growing out, and we are amongst a society. We're the last ones to seek help. We're the last ones to ask for help as far as healing is concerned. Most other races
mhm,
don't mind going and sitting on someone's couch or having a
Mhm.
conversation with
Mhm.
someone to try to figure
no.
themselves out. And
Mhm.
so, and as we and
Mhm.
as the doctor just said, even having a baby, the lack of discussions that we have, even with our teen pregnancy, about how it is to
Right.
raise children and what it is that you went through that got you to this point. Because not all the times is it happy situations, and then even if it seems happy on the outside, we have to have these discussions with women, especially about, do you realize that whatever you carry, your baby carries, even from infancy? It's in your
Mhm.
bloodstream, so your baby is
Right.
feeling all of these things that has been in our bloodstreams from generation to generation. It is actually
Mhm,
being born when your child is born, and then also the things that you go through as you are raising a
Mhm.
child. We have to understand how that impacts your child, because they see it, and
right.
even being not a young mom, but not knowing and not having enough education, because I was young in therapy, even at that point in my life too, and not understanding the stuff that I experienced, my child experienced it. And so we have to have an understanding.
Mhm,
We've got to have more conversations with our younger children. We've got to have conversations with kids that we don't even know, just having conversations. We've got to take back our streets. We've got to start talking to our neighbors. We've got to start talking to these kids when we see them in the mall. We've got to
mhm.
have conversations, because, again, if we keep quiet, we're going to keep repeating these cycles over and over again.
Do we got to talk
Right.
to our
And
neighbors,
I think
Charlotte?
that's what.
Yes, we have to talk to our
Yes.
neighbors.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
If,
do.
if my neighbor watching, hey,
We
that's
need to.
right, girl. I love talking to you, girl. But I don't want to talk to all the neighbors all the time. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, I mean, again, but I hear stories, and even when I was growing up, my parents still live in the same house. At that point in time,
Are
you
doing
knew the
encouraging people
people that
to
live
do
next
things
door to
like that,
you.
like
You
take
knew,
back their neighborhood, their neighbors. Like she said, like that. It's time.
yeah,
You
you have to get,
and now we grew up. Mhm. Yeah. We grew up and
it,
finally appreciated. I remember being in my grandma's house and always talking about her nosy neighbors and how the neighbors always knew what we was doing.
always
My granny
told.
knew what had did by the time we made it back to her house. And I was like, now that I'm about to be 50 years old, I can appreciate that now. Then I'm thinking nosy
Mhm.
neighbor. I don't even realize that they were saving our
They were
lives. They were
looking
really
out for
saving
you.
our
Mhm.
lives.
Mhm.
God, yeah.
Exactly.
Always in my business. How they gonna tell me what time
Yes.
might come straight home? But they were looking out.
That-
Someone always looking out for you. And so we've taken our eye off the ball. We've
Mhm.
taken our eye off the ball. And it's because, there's so much unhealed stuff. And I know that there are people that have done other people wrong, but it's not everybody. And we've got to learn a little bit of trust in other people. I ain't saying open your whole door and let them come on in and spend the night, but we've got to start trusting each other in order to save our children.
Exactly. Now, what do you guys feel about the moms? I want to start with John Deal with this
Yeah, and that's
question.
just using discernment.
Hold on one second,
Mhm.
Tammy. John Dale, I want to ask you this question. What do you feel about the moms that knows what's going on, that knows that their child is out there
Uh-huh.
toting around these guns and everything. We call them mousecatouls over here, but toting around these mousecatouls, and they're so afraid of their child themselves that they just push it under the rug. They don't say anything at all. They just act like it's not happening. What do you say to those type of moms?
Well, I mean, it's because I was one of them moms. My kids ain't never killed nobody, but
Hmm.
I was one of them moms. But my thing was, I call the cops on my kids. Like, don't
Accountability.
bring nothing in my house to where as though it's going to harm me or anybody in here. But some moms do know and they don't care because, like, you got to realize some moms are only what 12 and 13 years older than their child. To where
Yep.
they
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a childhood, so they live in a childhood through their child. So what they kids is doing is acceptable to them. It's cool to them. Like as long as don't nobody do nothing to my kid, it's cool to them because they
Yeah.
kids they self.
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
to add to that too that sometimes parents are trying to get help, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't beat your kids anymore, like how most of us grew up. So when you can't discipline them in a home, and so that then becomes an issue, and so you can't discipline them as you in trouble, and that did I know several people that
Mm-hmm.
got in trouble, jail time and
Right.
everything, diapers or
Mm-hmm.
child protective services called on them. So that's an issue. And then when people do that, I worked in the mental health field for 30 years and I have talked to parents who are saying, I need help. I don't know what to do with this kid. And the truth be told, even though
There
I work
isn't
in the
anything.
system, there's no help for the parent. They like, oh,
It's
I don't
none.
know. So if your child needs medication and they don't want to take it, they can't make the kid take it. You know what I'm saying? Your kid don't go to school. You can't beat them and send
Ain't
them to
nothing.
school. And so they miss it. I mean, we have a huge problem that starts way before the kid picks up a gun. And
Yep.
I feel bad for parents. I'm sort of like Miss John Dale. My daughter stole money from me and I put her out and I called the cops. And she got a record and that's up to her because she shouldn't be stealing from me. Right? Like that, we not doing that.
Mhm.
So I'm one of them mothers and I ain't have no problem whooping my kids. If they was showing out, that's what they was gonna get.
Yeah.
And if the police want to come get them, they can have them. Because I'm a whoop them before the world whoops them. And
So, but
we
we've
don't
gotten.
parent that way, and we don't. And the truth be told, we and I'll say it, even though I work for a government agency. Listen, it ain't no help out here. We got to parent our children ourselves. And if you don't parent them and start at a young age, it's a problem. And the other thing I'll say is we used to have generational homes where the grandparent or the great grandparent, you have three or four generations living in a home. We don't have that now. You give the county or whoever, the state gives an 18-year-old her own apartment and she raising a
Mm.
baby. No, that's nothing right about that. She don't know what she doing, and that's when you start having these systemic problems.
Yeah. A part
And
of
I
that
think,
is
oh, go
too,
ahead,
there is
Dominic.
no even when you call the police, a lot of times they're not gonna do anything. They talk to the kids and they send them right on back in the house. I've had parents that I know personally, your kid is spending money, using up your car, setting your house on fire, and the court until they do something that is of criminal nature where they can actually press charges against them, they just send them back home to you. The hospitals right now, there's
Yep.
wait in a lot of places, even the 10, 13 year child, which is to have them committed for whatever reason that you feel as though they're acting out, so at least you can figure out what's going on. They're
Mhm.
overcrowded and it costs so much. A lot of times parents can't afford that because there's so many hospitals now that are not necessarily free. You don't have the insurance or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
It's a systemic problem. It is, it's a neighborhood problem. It's a family problem. It is a systemic problem that we, can't overlook at this point because
Mhm.
it like I tell the people all the time, and I work in them
at an alternative school. But when we suspend them, that's my house they breaking in because they ain't at school, you know. And so we've got to figure out other ways in order to be able to help our kids, because I understand, you know, putting them out for whatever reason, but then when you put your child out, then they're considered runaways necessarily. But if you don't call and tell the police and something happens to them, you're liable. So there's
Exactly.
some other things that we really got to do.
I showed a clip on Monday on my Monday show for those that was
Yeah.
watching. I showed a clip. I did not know the whole full back end of it, so I will be bringing that story back again on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
because I did do more research on it. But I showed a video of a lady, and she was talking about her son, and her son had actually murdered her daughter, which would be the son's sister, his sister and his niece.
Mm.
So
Mm.
it was the
Mm.
daughter's
Mm.
daughter. And
Jesus.
the mom was doing the news broadcast. She was very angry, very, very angry. And she mentioned on that clip that he had jumped on her the day before. So he had jumped on her the day before, or the week before. I'm sorry, the week before. She went down to the police station and everything. They gave her some pamphlets. That's what they gave her, some pamphlets. They didn't do anything, didn't take action or nothing. Well, when I started doing my additional research, it wasn't a kid, but he was grown. But this
Mm-hmm.
man had been in prison for almost 7 years. And his
And you
sister,
can't evict him. If he lived there, you can't evict him.
exactly, he
You
was
got, yeah.
living there.
So the
That's
people who
crazy.
hurt our children, the people who have mental illness and it goes unchecked, have more rights
Yep.
than our children had to
Right.
live,
Well,
or
I
these
mean, you can
children who don't know
evict
how to
them.
behave.
It's just a process.
It's the
It's a
process.
That's
Well,
process.
30
They you can
days.
get them out of your
But
house. So,
30
yeah,
but the
days
thing
though.
is,
30
I
days.
I I agree
if you're
with
scared,
all
that's a
you
long
guys,
time.
but
Mhm.
what happens before all those things take place? Like we are saying, and I totally agree with each and every last one of you guys, but let's not take let's not leave out that we see these things coming about.
Mhm.
You know, I'm a
Yes.
mother of four. I had my first child at 17 years old, and I am thankful that they they work in the system versus being in the system. And I'm gonna tell you, yes, I grew up with them. You know, I tell people all the time, we grew up together. I had to learn a lot with them. But sometimes we see these things
Mhm.
and we brush these things under the table. We just now, you know, social media puts children on platforms thinking everything is funny, all these kind of things. We see these
Mhm.
things happening in these children as young children, but we bypass that until they get to be older. And now these things are out of control and out of our hands, and we can't handle that. You know,
But
some of
and
these
it's
things are not just happening out of the blue. There were steps that were there were things that were happening and taking place before we even got to this process.
Because
And
when
I
they
But
do
was
the
believe
young,
families
that
when
are
they
the
was
system
younger,
makes
dysfunctional.
it
it
was cute.
hard once we get there. And I know that, you know, there are a lot of hands are tied in a lot of things when it comes to parents and their children out because of the laws. Yes,
well, a lot of
they
times
definitely
where
thought it was cute.
people
You
are
know,
a
we spend a
product.
lot of time spoiling our children in this day and age. My generation of people, we definitely spoiled our children.
Definitely,
We
And
we're
we
a
thought it
product
was
of our
cute. When our kids walk around putting their middle finger up and stuff, that was cute to
I
us.
think we cut off.
Back
I'm
in the day
sorry.
when we was having our kids, it was cute. Our kids throwing rocks and stuff at each other, it was cute. But then you got to look at it. Once they started growing up, it was like, okay, like something wrong with this kid. Like,
And
yeah,
so we're a product,
it's
and nine times out of 10, even as parents, we're a product of our environment. And so if it's natural in your environment that that's how everybody else acts, you don't necessarily see it even in your own child, you know, because everybody else is doing the same thing. So, you know, at that point, it's just
Mhm.
something that until it happens to you when they get older, and then it becomes a problem, you know. And
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah, and
about
that's what I said. I think we are.
recognizing
Go
we're
ahead.
going
I'm
to have
sorry.
to have communication with younger parents, whoever the parents are, with teenagers. We're gonna have to have these real conversations. I talk to my kids all the time about choices that you make. I talk to them about what trauma is, and how trauma, because everybody thinks that trauma just happens to be if you're raped or someone's beating you. No, trauma is hearing gunshots all the time. Trauma is
Mhm.
being in car accidents. Trauma is someone you think is breaking into your house. Anything that alters or changes the way that your brain is functioning, that's considered trauma. And so we as a community have got to start looking at and really deciphering, some of the things that go on and that change our way of thinking
Mhm.
and alter our view of life, and making sure that we discuss and learn how to have conversations with our children so that they understand better, instead of just thinking that it's okay and we'll get over it.
Well, and also some things that we don't even consider, like the video games. The video games, we our children are prone to violence. We live in a very
Mhm.
TV.
wicked gun culture in the United States. I mean, we're not looking at, like some of this is not even just bad parenting or neighborhoods. I mean, you have children who don't even live in a rough neighborhood, who are also violent because of the video games. We have to look at how
Right.
our young women dress, and it the videos are sanctioning this behavior. And so when I check my daughters on, where you wearing that to, like, that's not appropriate. But when we go outside of our home, everybody is dressed like that, including women my age. So they see nothing wrong with it. And
Society.
I'm the corny mom, but I'm the mom that's trying to teach you that you have something more to offer than your body. While
Amen.
you have a body, you have something way more to offer, and you only have to dress like that when you have nothing else. Right. But
Yes.
if that's the way the world is dressing, then I look like the weirdo, not them. And so we really got to do a whole
Deep
system
dive.
check of what we're exposing our kids to. Not to mention the food in the United States is garbage. The processed food does not allow us to have even a healthy. We our stamina is not even healthy. Our kids are sick. We just in trouble, y'all.
Cartoons. We've
Exactly.
got to pay attention to the
Yes.
cartoons that even the babies are watching. If you have grandchildren,
Yep.
some of the stuff that is even, it's real stuff that, if you're not paying attention to what they actually watching, some of the stuff that they're digesting, the conversations that even the cartoons are having are, it opens them up to being prone to violence, because they're thinking that it's okay for whatever because it was a cartoon,
Yep.
but when it's real life, they don't have, because they've seen it before, so it don't even
Mhm.
shock them anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Now I know I said I wasn't gonna play no clips. I know I said that, but
Right.
when y'all was talking about these young kids and how they already acting crazy, and some of the parents just ain't doing nothing about it, I was reminded of a clip that I saw today. Literally, I saw this today. So I want to show this to you all, and I just want y'all opinion on it, okay? On what y'all would do. Okay, so it's at the
Oh,
bottom right now. So you know what I'm finna play?
We talked about this in I do parenting classes in Fulton County courthouse, and I had the same discussion with my parents today, because we were talking about what would you do if your child. So yeah.
Yep. And so this is one of those videos that went viral. This happened at a Walmart. Charlotte, do you know what Walmart it
No, I
was?
don't. I just saw it and I brought it up in my session. I had all my parents to go to it. So I don't know
Okay.
necessarily where it was. I just saw it the other day. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it was either, but y'all check this out. Hold on.
At least yours is blacked out. I saw the one that showed the baby and everything.
Yeah, that the one I saw is showed it too. Look at her. She looked like she could have been around 8 or 9.
I gotta do that.
And her mom and dad was there.
Oh, right. So I never did see who her parents were. Yeah, I saw a different view.
Damn. They need to let her go.
Okay. So, and even the view that I saw, she was throwing bottles, and it were like the workers, the Walmart workers were just standing around
Yeah,
looking at her.
they're about to show that one, that part. Ooh, look at her.
Yeah.
That's her dad. That's her
Oh,
mom.
that was the dad.
Hmm. They telling her to breathe.
To breathe.
Yeah, they're telling her to breathe. Now, people do have um issues with their children. Hold on, Tiffany. I know Tiffany like, what is going on? Hold on, there you go. There you go.
I'm trying to
But
wait on the what else you gonna say? What
you know, some of these parents do have issues with their children mentally.
And that's
Mhm.
what it looked like.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. She actually was having a mental breakdown. It don't look like, she's
Yes.
a bad child or nothing like that, because she's aware of what she's doing to
Hmm.
get the attention and get the reaction from everybody around her. Cause you see everybody around her, they just standing there.
Yeah.
Like they're not
But
doing
Them two
sometimes
anything. They're
white
that
just
folks.
standing there.
sometimes
They
So
that
ended up
stuff is
grabbing her. They're like, oh,
masked.
you even act like this.
yeah, because if
Sometimes
but you see when they walk past, when
what
the
we
first thing
try
on is
to
a
mask,
room. They could have easily pulled that baby right in that
like,
room.
like you just said, she was. I'm sorry.
So
Oh no,
even
go
in
ahead, Tammy. Go ahead. I think Tammy's
No,
system
I
is
was saying
lagging a little
sometimes we
bit.
mask that. A lot of children. Yeah, I think so too. I think sometimes, we do have a lot of mental illness that runs throughout our households, our communities, and all that kind of stuff. But we also have children who have a sense of entitlement. I mean, just like a small child will push you, they will take it to the limits. A
if
Hmm.
small
you
child will
allow.
take it to the limits to see how far they can go. And sometimes as parents, we let them go too far. And so they start to use that to their advantage. I've seen where children play parents against each other because they know what they can get away with. They know what is going to send you in a frenzy or a scared state of mind, so to say. A lot of that stuff, and we place a lot of those things, and we say this is mental illness. It is mental illness in a way. However, some of these children are using those things to their advantage. I'm not taking away from the fact that a lot of our children are dealing with mental illness, because a lot of us as adults are also dealing with mental illness and unhealed trauma. But some of those things, like I said, it comes to entitlement. I remember going into Burlington's one time, young lady ringing me up. All I wanted to do was use my coupon. And because she did not know how to ring up my coupon, she flipped out on me. She jumped over the counter at me. I mean, she showed her natural black ass in that store. I'm just going to say it. And then
Girl.
her managers couldn't do nothing with her, nothing. And then the very next day, her mom finds out who I am, and she's calling my job to try to get me fired because her daughter acted a fool only because I wanted to use my $5 coupon. Like, I'm not understanding.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Not $5. Your
Yeah,
$5
I
coupon,
wanted
and
to
she
use
done
my
jumped over the
$5
counter.
coupon.
and for the
Why I can't
public,
use my coupon?
Oh my
But you know what?
God.
It's not just children. You have adults who don't have coping skills. They don't know how to take frustration. They don't, I mean, like, I am all like, we're mothers who've lost our children who are in this fight trying to help other people. And there are people who cannot take the fact that they can't use a $5 coupon. Like, she don't know how to work it. Like, people are not stable. It's not just children. They're being raised by unstable parents. And so
Yep.
they
And
learn that because our children, they watch what we do. They learn. When I see a person who has low frustration tolerance, I can tell you what their kids act like.
Just like
Hmm.
them.
Just
Just like
like
them,
exactly.
them.
because it's modeled. It's modeled, and so that's how their children learn to react to the world. But even working in an alternative setting, and I will tell you, because a lot of our kids have, IEPs and different things, and so I'm just gonna be real with it how it is, because it is a real thing. And having an IEP and knowing how you learn, we can have all these labels and all these letters and all this other stuff, but believe me, at school that IEP works. Okay, those letters work, and
Yes,
you
they
might be
do.
able to misbehave, but when them policemen show up, they don't ask you what
They
your 504 or what your IEP or whatever your other
yes.
stuff said. And so, as parents, we've got to teach our children how to live in the real world, because those
Yes.
letters don't stand for anything when stuff go down. You can't say, "Stop, you're not following my IEP. My accommodations aren't being
Mhm.
followed." You have
Hmm.
to teach your
Right.
children exactly how this real world reacts. And so, yeah, I get it. That baby might have ODD and ADHD and all this other stuff. But again, the real world does not live like that. The real world does not take into hands, okay, you got something wrong with you. No, they're going to handcuff you and take you straight to jail. And then you become
Yes,
part of
they
a
are.
cycle. And so in
Mhm.
order for
The
our children,
system,
and
the
you really
cycle.
don't get help once you go to these jails. They just put you in there and then they wait on your release date. So
Mm.
we're not helping our
Mhm. Give you a
children even
number.
in that. Believe me.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well,
But
we
we
got.
live in an era of don't say nothing to my child. That's my kid. Don't do this. I'm a ride for my baby, or don't touch my baby. Don't talk to my baby. Don't. I mean, we live in that era, and I'm sorry. That is a lot of the mentality of the parents. That and the children use
That's because
that
we
to their
thought.
advantage.
That's because we thought they was nosy, so we stopped that.
Community.
Exactly.
We are the only
Yeah.
race who don't believe in community. And I try to teach my children that all the time. Like, if you don't take care of your community, then you will wind up. That's why, and I say it to them all the time. That's why when I pull up in your blinds looking like this at your house, I already know. I already know that your parents don't care about how you all live. So even at school, you've got to worry about how things look to you. You've got to take pride in things. And as a community, we have forgotten that.
Exactly. Well, we got to get into this quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to give Jackie a chance to speak. What I want to talk about when we come back is the challenges that you moms deal with on a negative aspect from the community. Okay, the negative aspect from the community that you guys are seeing, hearing. I know there's people out there sending things to you guys from off of social media that's just all negative. Like they're not even thinking about your feelings or anything like that. They just shooting it out there to you. So let's go ahead and get into this commercial break. And we got a tribute video. We got a tribute video. So here we go.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you heaven. Oh, I must be strong and carry on. 'Cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Oh, would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Oh, would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? Oh, I'll find my way through night and day. 'Cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Oh, oh, here in heaven. Oh, oh, 'cause I don't belong here in heaven.
Hey y'all, it's your girl, the missus with the kisses, baby. Mwah. Thank y'all so much for joining me and Jason tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if we got a special guest, thank you, special guest. I thank you for coming, sharing your story. But y'all make sure y'all watch us each and every Wednesday, okay? Each and every Wednesday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Where you said? You said where? Roku TV, Roku TV, Facebook, YouTube, and also Twitch, baby. Twitch. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Peachy Tea Time, time spelled with a Y. And make sure you also follow me on all the other platforms just as well. Thank you so much for joining us each and every Wednesday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Back to the show we go, baby. We going back. Bye. Hear me because I got the mute button on. Sorry. Usually the system from the old system, they automatically unmutes you. But Dr. Tyrese, I don't know why it says that it says you're offline. But I think it's gonna click back in. There you go. That was lollipop. That was lollipop. You can't hear us? She can't hear us. Oh, you gotta hit the mute button. You gotta hit the mute button.
And she's
But I'm not sure
sideways.
why I'm
There you
Sideways.
go.
There you are.
okay.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Yes, that was your
Thank you
beautiful,
so
beautiful
much.
baby. You are
Thank you
so
so much for
welcome.
doing that.
You are so welcome. Now, Miss Jackie.
Yes.
Jackie, it's your turn, girl.
Uh-oh.
Now, tell us. Have you dealt with any negativity from the community?
You know, absolutely. For one, you never think it can happen to you. I have three sons. I'm a social worker. I did everything in my power to make sure that my kids were not another statistic.
Hmm.
And as a mom, it's my job to protect them. And I feel like even from that first night at the hospital, just some of the way the doctors and even nurses and the staff talked to me, like kid's just some thug or some gangbanger, and that's the life they live. That's what happens. And people just, they see it on the news and they just assume that these kids are out here in the streets or that they're doing this or doing that. And I mean, I have to say that, at times I have felt that way before it happened to me. I didn't. It you just go on with your life, like, you see it on the news, and then you go to bed and live your life the next day. But when it happens to you, your whole world stops. Like, your world stops. It takes your breath away, and it's like you're trying to get out the bed and you're trying to figure out how everybody in the world is still living, and you're struggling with getting out of bed and taking a shower, just trying to wake up from a nightmare, because you know it doesn't happen to us. It doesn't have, this. Yeah, and as a mom, it was my job to protect them, I feel like. And I guess it just shows pure evil in this world that you don't even know exists on a whole new level.
Exactly. Did you have any hard issues with the police department?
No, I mean, and it's crazy because I wish I never met so many of these people that I've met, because we share this bond that nobody wants to be a part of this club. And so many of us have so many different, all of our children were murdered, but there's just so many more things to the story, whether it was murder, suicide, whether, like Tip lost two of her children, and some of us got justice. Some of us have no idea. They could be walking next to us at Myers and we have no idea.
Hmm.
They have no clue. There's no justice. No one held accountable. Um, so yeah. What was, I'm about to whoop my other son. Can you hear my other son in the background? Mute it so I can cuss him out.
Don't you whoop nobody.
Oh no,
Um, like, he's getting louder and louder and
it's
louder.
okay, Jackie. It's okay.
I mean, oh,
That's
yeah,
why it's called the
I mean,
raw and uncut. It's the
right,
raw and uncut. You don't
right,
know what you
right,
gonna
right,
hear.
right.
Exactly,
But no,
exactly.
I was blessed.
Especially being live
Right,
too.
right. I was blessed with the detective I had. She went above and beyond and kept me more than informed. But just like when we were at city council last month, um, before we went in, there was another mother that had lost her child, and I was like, "Oh, I see they made an arrest." And she was like, "Huh?" I said, "Didn't they arrest the person that?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, "Did I speak?" And so I was like, "Wasn't he young?" And so I'm pulling up my phone to pull up the M Live article, and I'm like, "Yeah." And she had no idea. And this was on
Wow.
Monday, and he had been arrested on Friday, and
Hmm.
the detective never even called. And I'm just like, usually they don't get to make very many good phone calls. Like, you would think that was a phone
Exactly.
call they couldn't wait to make. And
Right.
so
Hmm.
like I had called just to try to get the number of the supervisor, and ended up talking to him. And I'm like, "Is that not part of your protocol that you call and inform the family?" He's like, "Well,
Thank you.
they missed the arraignment." He's like, "Well, the arraignment's not nothing. We don't go to the arraignment." He was like, "If it was like the pre-trial, or the whatever, then we would make sure that they." But that's not up to you to decide what
Support.
they can or shouldn't, or I wanted to be at
Hmm.
every single waking moment where that man was in the courtroom. And so it was
Right.
just, yeah, so
Wow.
it was sad, because it's just like, that's not okay. That's not okay.
Exactly.
So, were you involved with the city council even before your son was murdered, or is that something that you started doing?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
Because I don't
so,
even live
and
in the city per se. I don't live in the quote city. I work in the city, but yeah, that was just something that we
that
yeah.
right there, but we've got to become involved in our community. We've got to know what
Hmm.
goes on right there, And I know everybody's been talking about this president election, and that's important. True enough, I get it. But we've got to know about the people and the things that happen right here in our community. We've got to start taking those things seriously before we can even go outside of, and
Hmm.
that is important. And I say all the time as a resident where I live that I'm gonna start going to these meetings, and I ain't been to one yet. But again, I shouldn't have to wait until something drastic happens, and then I want to get involved. I have the need to get involved, and that speaks volumes. Thank you for saying that, and then thank you for even calling someone else out on there, and letting them know how they've been treating other people, because that takes a lot too. That you made that phone call on her behalf to say, hey, you're not doing this right. You need to do this better.
because I just know when I was in that situation, like I had no guidance. No one reached out to me. No one. I didn't know how to plan a funeral. Like I didn't. Do I just call the funeral home and say, "Hey, my son's gonna be delivered"? You know what I mean? Just stuff that I never imagined. Like no parent should have to imagine.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because my neighbor directly across the street from me, a month before my son was shot, her daughter was murdered, and then he killed himself. And I remember going, we weren't close at the time, but I went over there and I gave her my condolences, and I came back home and I went on with my life, you know. And then when it happened to me, like I realized, and so like we have like the greatest relationship now, and I had to apologize to her because I'm just like, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Like
Because you didn't know, but you didn't know.
I used to say I couldn't imagine. You know what I mean? Like other parents that I had consoled in the past that, before I experienced it, I would say I couldn't imagine because I couldn't. Even living it, I still can't imagine it. And I still like am in denial. Like, you know what I mean? Like I still, and one of the moms that was actually going to come on tonight that said, she was going to hold off. She just wasn't ready. And I said, I get it. You know what I mean? The holidays are hard and,
Mm.
some days are okay. And then it's like, some days I'm just like, and it's crazy. There's a before and there's a now, like a before and an after. And I'm like, it's hard to accept that this after is like the rest of our lives. It's like, we're the ones being punished. I'm going to beat this child.
Don't beat them. Don't beat them. Tiffany, I want to, are you there, Tiffany? Can you hear us?
I
Okay.
can hear.
Okay, she can hear. Tiffany, what are there any negative feedback that you received from the community, from your community?
Um, I would have to say when TJ passed away, the community was very supportive, and I think because he was a baby, he was 12 years old, So I got tremendous support from the I far as him, but far as finding out who the shooters were, because I found out there were multiple shooters. So I still have yet to have closure for him. And that's really hard because it's been 12 years. You would think somebody's conscience by now would make somebody want to say something, because we know everybody knows something. They were talking
Hmm.
about it then. So, 12 years later, they're still talking about it. But when my daughter passed away, when she was killed, the thing that made me mad about my community is that my parents, they grew up on the east side of Saginaw. They've been in this house since 1969. So
Wow.
they've lived on this side all my life. This is all I know. This is all my kids know. So when my daughter got murdered, kids so cruel. People were posting, they were making posts like, yeah, we killed that east side bitch. And would have got two of them if the Draco wouldn't have jammed in. Just
Mhm.
talking reckless, like she was like a kingpin or something around Saginaw. Like she was a girl. She was my girl. She was my beautiful princess. And how dare you take her life and then get on social media and make a mockery out of it because of the side of town she grew up on. And it was just crazy to me to see people reacting in that manner. You know what I'm saying? And I developed a hate for the person that I believe to be the shooter that was posting all this stuff about my kid. And so for that to happen to you as a mom, and you feel, I feel like you got to suck it up almost. It's the worst taste in your mouth ever. I never been a person that liked guns or liked to be around guns, but after that happened with my daughter, I went and got my CCWs. I went and took a gun class. I went and got licensed. I went and bought me one because I was ready, because that's where my mind frame was at for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I really didn't care. I didn't care who I told, that who I felt like did it. I literally did not care at that point, because it was like, you have already taken something from me. I wasn't ready to take nobody life, but I was ready to protect me, my son, my mom, my dad, I was ready to protect them. And then, two, the cowards, 2 days after I put my daughter in the ground, somebody came back and shot my parents in them house up. 2 days after I put my baby in the ground.
Yep. Yep.
I wanted to kill everybody. I wanted to kill his mom, his kids. I wanted to kill him. Like I wanted to cause this pain onto them.
Mm-hmm.
There was times that I had my gun and I rode around and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, because I had always said, if something ever happens to any one of my kids,
Mm-hmm.
I
and
want
then
blue.
a sense of guilt because you're not over here. You know what I mean? It's just, it's so, it's just, it's a, yeah.
Dr. Tyrese, as a
Mhm.
therapist, you are a licensed therapist, correct?
I am.
As a licensed therapist, hearing Jackie said what she just said, that she wanted to go for blood. Now, when you speak, like say Jackie was one of your clients, what would you say to her at that time when if she would have said something like that to you in the
I
privacy
would
of just the two of you?
I would normalize the feelings. I think that's a very raw emotion. It's a
Mm-hmm.
real feeling. I
Mm-hmm.
would encourage her not to act on it because emotions and feelings are fleeting. And
Mm-hmm.
people make really bad decisions, life changing decisions
In the blink
in
of
a
an
fit of anger. And sometimes and I'm not sure of the each circumstances, but sometimes that's why our children have gotten killed because somebody was angry about something that probably at the end of the day didn't mean that much. So I think feelings are valid, and I don't think we should not feel what we feeling. I think we should just give ourselves time and space to not act on them so that we don't do
Mm-hmm.
further damage. My situation was a little different, and it's because I'm in this space and I realized that I was never angry, and I'm very thankful about that. And I was able to forgive the person who killed my kid immediately because I knew that it would not do any good. And while people really give me a lot of kudos for that, it's probably one of the more selfish things I did in my life. It wasn't that I'm this great person that was able to forgive, but I knew that unforgiveness would kill me. It would harm my life. It would I would not be able to do the things that I felt that God had me for me to do as a result of my child being murdered. There's been a lot of things that I've been able to do to assist people. I wrote a children's book on gun violence. I continued in my business. I've been able to help lots of moms and family members, not just moms. I started a foundation, and while at that moment of forgiveness I didn't know what God had for me to do, I was very clear that I was supposed to do something, and I would not be able to do it with the weight of unforgiveness on me. And that is also too, not because I'm a great person, because I'm no different than any other mom, because the real Tyrese would have wanted to do the same thing, go after someone. But I knew too, I also had a 19-year-old who
to live
is
for.
from my 18-year-old was a sweetie pie, never had a fight in her life. My 19-year-old was not that child. And I knew that I had to keep her safe so she wouldn't go back to the neighborhood and tear stuff up. So we did a community day in that neighborhood after my daughter was killed on her birthday. We went back to that community, did a community day. We planted rose bushes, um, and we bonded with the community because when my daughter was killed, there was children riding their bikes outside. So while my daughter was killed on this day, it could have been anybody else's child that was killed. And we wanted to do something nice for the community. And the community appreciated that and wound up naming an education center after her. And she's not from that community. We don't even live in DC. We live outside of DC. So I normalize the feelings that parents have when anything happened. I think, and I encourage people because a lot of people who know my story will say, I don't feel like you feel, and you don't have to feel like I feel. You feel how you want to feel and feel the feelings. Like go through it so you don't complicate the grief for yourself, because after the grief, or even during the grief, there's a lot of good that you can come, that you can make of this, which is also healing. When we talk about healing and wanting to be healed, it's hard work. It's not easy. So for a mother who's lost her child to gun violence, if I don't heal, then I also poison everybody in my home. Because as the woman of my home, my husband was not
At the
forgiven.
time.
My husband was not forgiven at the time. My pastor wasn't forgiven, right? But because of my ability to forgive, I was able to change the hearts of many people that were surrounding me. And so, understanding my power as the woman of my home, the mother of my home, the wife in my home, and a member of my church, I was able to change the hearts of a lot of people. And understanding too that our children are turning into monsters, but it's not their fault. It's not their fault that they're out here doing this stuff. It's a lot of factors that play into that. And I'm not saying that some people, I'm not saying they don't need to be in prison, or some deal with the consequences of their behavior, but we got to be real about our children are in trouble.
Exactly. Exactly. I want to read one of the comments. Hey, Ebony, how are you, darling? Ebony said, most times, even as a mother, I have talked and continue to talk. But one day, my son told me, all the talking in the world, mom, you can't give me the one thing I need, and that's how to be a man, something my father won't give me. This was a very difficult reality. I had to accept, but I had to inform my son that through God, I can show you how to be the very best God fearing person you can be. And through him, God will show you how to be a man.
That's so true.
Yes, mother.
Yes,
Yes.
That's so
yes,
true.
yes,
That's
yes.
That's my
strong.
sister.
That's
You want
strong.
to give her a hand clap.
Definitely.
And
Now,
I
um,
think
as
I think
black,
the
we as
reality is we
women.
don't have to show people how to be men, and you don't have to show people how to be a girl or a woman, right? Like those things come naturally, and naturally you'll have mentors that will feed into that, can pour into you different things. But at the end of the day, you make the determination. If we just try to be human, right? And even like we get caught up in the race and stuff, but if we just realize we belong to the human race and learn to treat people with respect and dignity, we will all be in a better place. But we're caught up on the things that make us different instead of the things that make us the same.
And so,
exactly.
even talking about
Yeah.
that too, it's hard being a single parent. And I, don't know if particular Miss Ebony is a single parent. It
She
sounds like
is.
she is, but it's hard
Hmm.
being a single parent and even raising boys into men. And no,
Hmm.
we don't have, and we can't. There's only so much as women that we do because our conversations are totally different. And
Yeah,
so it is finding good men, good people to help you. Again, it takes a village.
it does take a village.
We've
Yes,
gotten
it
away
does.
inviting and letting people in and asking people for help even with our children, because again,
Hmm.
what you can't connect with your child, someone else may be able to. You have to give them a safe space to be able to land. It used to be
Hmm.
Big Mama. He or she could go to Big Mama's house, and Big Mama would give him or her that safe space. Well, Big Mamas aren't around as much, but they need
Mhm.
safe spaces. And all the time, children don't feel safe coming to their parents for whatever reason. I remember when my son was younger, and he was having some issues at school, and he might have been just starting middle school. And I was like, "Are you good?" And he was like, "Yeah, but I don't need to talk to you. I already talked to my counselor at school." And like I told him, "Hey, whatever you all talked about, that's good. You knew you needed help. You found someone, and you went and talked to them about it. You don't have to tell me. I just appreciate the fact that you knew you had a problem, and knew how to discuss it with someone, because a lot of
Yes.
times we as people carry whatever it is that we're holding in, we hold it in, we carry it on our backs, and then it creates, and it keeps creating, it keeps building, and this is usually what we see.
All right, now we are coming to the end of the show. So I have another question, and I want all the moms that lost a child to answer this question, and then me, Tammy, and Charlotte. I have a question for us just as well, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. My question is because it doesn't. I don't think that we have anyone on here that lost their only child. I think everyone has another child. My question is this, and I hope Tiffany can hear me just as well. Um, are you or have you ever been? I'm gonna say start like that. Have you ever been or are you now afraid that this is going to happen to your living child? Like, do you
Anything
walk around in fear of
else?
that happening
Oh,
again, having to repeat it again? Tiffany went through it twice. So
mm.
Tiffany, I want you to answer last. Let's start with John Dale. And John Dale, no, you're not on mute. Um, do you walk around in fear that this could happen again to your other children?
I'm not really. I really don't. My my biggest fear was that my youngest was going to go out there and kill somebody
Mm,
because he was so angry. He was so angry. But far as like, I don't I don't think that you know. I'm not going to say that it won't happen again because I don't know. But in fear, no, because I already lived a mother's worst nightmare.
okay.
So a second time, no.
Okay. Jackie, same question.
Absolutely. When I had that mindset to go out and hurt somebody else, I think the biggest thing that stopped me was then I was worried about my other two sons. Somebody would retaliate and hurt them. You know what I mean? And it would just be a never-ending thing.
Exactly.
Um, and it's unimaginable to have it happen once. And knowing Tiffany personally, and knowing it happened to her twice, like she talked about how she just starting to heal a little bit from the first time, and then bam,
Hmm.
it hit her again. And so I can't even fathom that. Like, I mean, I can't fathom losing one, which, yeah. So absolutely, I'm scared to death. Like, you don't want to let your kids ride you next door in a car. You know what I mean? Like, you just because you can go through it again. Like, yeah, it's absolutely yeah.
Dr. Tyrese.
It does go through my mom. My daughter is now 27. She's a mom herself. And she likes to go out and do what other 27-year-olds do and should be able to do freely. So it's not that it's not on my mind. Um, but it's there. I mean, I don't overwhelm myself with it. I'm not a worry. I'm a God-fearing person. And
Hmm.
I'm realistic that it can happen. That there plenty of mothers who have lost two or more. Some mothers have lost
Hmm.
more. So I'm,
Hmm.
firm in that it can happen. I'm just praying it don't because I tell you, I don't need that again in my life. It's the worst thing that has ever happened to me. And
Hmm.
I can't imagine living through it twice. And my heart goes out to any parent who has to deal with this more than has to deal with it, period, but have to deal with it more than once. I just don't know.
Yeah.
And before Tiffany answers, um, for those that have seen my show when Tiffany came on, it's always hard for me. It's always hard. I have had over 100 people, families on my show. Some of them have become my friends. Some of them I have looked at as family now. But it's something about Tiffany when Tiffany comes on. Um, when I met Tiffany, she didn't have no kids at all. I was in the hospital room with her, literally when she gave birth to TJ, which was the first child that was murdered. Tamaria was all of our baby. She was the first one born.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely gorgeous. And you all will see Tiffany Kids on the next show. We're going to play her tribute video on the next show. But with Tiffany, I remember getting that call from another friend of mine saying that TJ was murdered, but she didn't know for sure if it was TJ. And I remember calling Tiffany, and I remember just the scream, the holler that Tiffany had over the phone when I called her. Then when it happened again with her daughter, another cousin though, this time called me, said, check on Tiffany. I'm like, check on Tiffany for what? She was like, Tamarie's been shot. I called Tiffany, and I remember Tiffany saying, Tennille, because Tiffany don't call me Miss Peachy unless she on this doggone show. I remember Tiffany saying, Tennille,
Mm-hmm.
God is not gonna let me go through this again. And and I know my friend is a spiritual friend. I know she goes to church. I know she prays. She prays with me. And
Yes,
so
God.
when she said that, it gave me some type of sense of relief at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But then to get the phone call again from the same person that called me the first time and said, check on Tiffany, that our baby is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can this happen twice to Tiffany? And like Dr. Tyree said, I had another lady on the show that lost 3 kids.
Mm.
3 of them.
It makes you
So
question God. Like, what have I done so bad? Because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one being punished. Isaiah's in heaven. I have to, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm the one. We're the ones left to suffer. And it's like I'm
Yeah.
still angry at God. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm
And
a
it's
good
okay.
right.
It's
You know what I
okay to
mean?
be
And I'm just
angry.
like the one time I needed
Yes.
Him more than any time in my life, He let me down. And it's yeah, it makes you
But
question
he's
everything.
got you, and I know we feel that. I know, and it's okay to be angry because I've heard it so much. You can't ask questions of God, and you can't be angry of God. But if He is my daddy, I can tell Him exactly how I feel, and not in a nice
You
way
sure
either.
can.
Thank you.
I
Yes, you
can tell
Yeah.
can.
him
Yes,
exactly
you
because he
can.
knows who it is that I am anyway, and he knows what I'm thinking. So
And he
I'm gonna
knows
tell it
whose
just
I
like
You
am.
know
it
what you
is,
feeling.
okay?
Exactly.
But that one
Say it.
comforting thing is that in the all of all, you know in your heart of hearts that guess what? He's got you. If
yep,
you
Yeah.
You
it's
definitely.
just it's that one little sense of peace that he gives you that every now and then that you hold on to. It's that one little speck of sunlight that beams on you, and you know what? I'm good. Right this right moment, right now, I'm good, and that's God. So rest
exactly.
assured,
Yeah.
He is there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Tiffany,
Jesus.
for you, um, it happened to you once. It happened to you twice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever sometimes be fearful for Tamarion?
I would
And y'all,
definitely have.
that's her last living son. I should have said
Yes.
your child, but
Yeah.
we you know how we is. So
I
Tamarion.
know.
Hey
I know.
Marion. Look, he
You
said,
talking about,
hey.
You
I
know
didn't
he
even know
right.
he
You
was back
already know he right here.
there. But yes, do you ever be fearful?
I do, and I would be lying if I sit here and tell y'all that I don't worry about that. And when it first happened with Tamarie, oh my God, like I didn't even want Tamarion to open up my front door. Period. Like leaving without like going to the car. Like where you going? Let me walk you to the car. Let me go with you. Let me. You know what I'm saying? I was like that. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah. I did. I
I
even
could
let
only
he
imagine.
even brought up this part right here. Like, yeah, and I even let his girlfriend come to our house. And that's something I never condone. But when my daughter passed, I just like I needed him, I know
to be
that
there.
he needed her as well. And I had to understand that he also was grieving and I wanted him at home with me. So for him
Hmm.
to be at home with me, if I had to make
The
that
whole world
sacrifice.
had to come over.
Yeah. Well, y'all come on over here. At least I know I got my eye on you, So that's how I felt, And to this day, yeah. Oh, we share each other's location. And if he's somewhere too long, I'm literally like calling him, like, who house you at? Are you safe? You need me to come get you? Like, I'm just all in his business. And I know sometimes he probably get frustrated and it probably
But
make
he
him a little
understands.
bit mad, but he understands. He
Yes, he
knows. You know
does.
what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid because as the doctor has stated, like I know God. I have a relationship with God. I know that I am his child. And the one thing that always comes to my mind is I remember when my first son was murdered. And I remember having to go into the room to identify his body, me and his dad. And I just remember walking into that room, seeing my baby laying on that bed, just looked like he was just sleeping. And the first words out of my mouth was, "Thank you, Lord." I said, "I thank you, Lord. I thank you for
Mm.
allowing me to be his mom." This is what I'm saying out loud as I'm sitting here looking at my 12-year-old child. I said, "Lord, out of all the mothers in the world, I said, you allowed me, you trusted me to be his overseer." I said, "And I'm forever thankful and grateful." I said, "Because he was not mine. He belonged to you first. And I thank you for loaning him to
Ooh.
me." And
Ooh. Ooh.
I know it wasn't nothing but God because where did that come from? It had to come from him. He had to be the one to give me the strength to even identify that my children belong to him first, that he gives us to them on loan. And
Amen.
since he comes like a thief in the night, none of us know when the hour, when the time is coming
Mm.
for any of us. And yeah, I do. I am very, very concerned about my child. I'm very transparent with y'all. I moved away to Texas after my daughter got killed. And then I just came back here. I've been here back to Saginaw about a year and a half, and I'm back at home with my parents. And I tell myself all the time, it's so bittersweet being here. I love the fact that I'm able to be at home with my parents, but to be in the same home that took the life of my 12-year-old son, it's devastating. It's traumatizing. And people don't understand that. And some people can say, "Oh, you're ungrateful because you ought to be glad you can still go home." Yeah, I can, but they don't understand the trauma that's attached to me being here also, you know. And
People are always
I
so
ain't gonna
quick to
talk
make
y'all ears off, but Miss Peachy, I love you, girl. I love what you do on your show. I love you. I thank God for you. I thank God for all the mothers. I
Yes.
love each and every one of y'all. And I just
Tiffany,
pray
can
that
you do
God
one
continue to
thing?
comfort us, to encourage us, to give us strength, to keep moving forward, and to use our voice, if not to help the next mother, but to also give her strength so that maybe one day she can wind up on this same platform as we are giving another mother strength as well.
Grace. It's
Exactly.
grace.
Tiffany, I want you to do one thing before we end the broadcast because we're coming down to our last 10 minutes. I love the story that you told me about your dream that you had when TJ came to your dream before Tamarie passed
Okay.
away. Can you please tell everyone that story?
I would definitely share that. So this was my daughter got murdered on July 31st, as I stated. It was Saturday. So the Wednesday before, um, well, let me back up a little bit. I was just literally having a conversation with my children, like that I haven't had a dream about TJ in a very long time, that he hasn't came to me in a long time. And so couple weeks passed. That Wednesday before my daughter got killed, TJ came to me in my dream. Now, normally when I dream about him, he always comes to me as a little boy. And anybody that knows my son know that he had long hair when he was a baby. And he didn't get his first haircut till he was 9 years old. So my son had hair down his back. So when he came to me in a dream, he was probably like 4 or 5 years old. And the weirdest thing this time, he was a little boy, but he had a haircut. That was one of the first things I noticed. He had a haircut and it was short, tapered. He was all lined up and edged up, and I was getting him dressed. I was putting on him a blue button up, and I'm buttoning his shirt up, and you know how kids do. You know, he bouncing around and he grabbing my cheeks, and he just kissing on me and
You needed
everything
it.
while I'm trying to get him dressed. And
Mm.
then he was like, "Mama, Mama," he was like, "I'm so happy." He said, "You don't understand." He said, "Mama, I get to go to everything now. I get to go to everything." And I woke up, and that dream left me like, wow. I'm like, what's going on? Like, where does my son get to go? You know, that's so extravagant, that got him so excited. So that was that Wednesday. So when my daughter passed away on Saturday, y'all, everything just clicked. And I knew at that moment that I had got my baby boy dressed to meet his sister at the pearly gates. And
Amen.
he knew that she was coming. And he made
Woo.
sure his mama got him together. Do you
Woo.
hear me? And he was so happy and so excited. And
Mm.
so that made me wonder, like in heaven, like, are there levels? I feel like that day my son gained his wings and his sister was
Amen.
coming home, and he knew it, and he met her at them gates, and it wasn't no turning back. When she
Yeah.
seen him, she was like, I know where I'm at, I ain't coming back, see y'all later.
God.
But
God.
I shared that dream at my daughter's homegoing
Yeah.
service with everybody, because I just really, I'm thankful for that, y'all. And I have not, that happened 3 years ago, and I have not had a dream about my son since then. So I know him and his sister is
It's all
up
right.
there in heaven together, catching up on old times, and I haven't heard from her neither. But I know when they catch up, I know they gonna pay their mama a visit.
Amen. Amen.
Exactly, exactly. I love when Tiffany tell that story.
Blessing.
It just
Mm.
gives me nothing but chills every time I hear it. We have came to the end of the show. Charlotte, is there anything that you want to say to these ladies, these mommies?
The strength that you all exhibit, just the pure nature, just as a mom. And I know I used to give my mom a pure hell, like, why you waiting up on me? Why but when you become a mom, you understand not going to sleep until you hear them coming through the door. Or with me,
Hmm.
it's till the garage goes up, even
Hmm.
just when they're going to the store. And we say all the time, can't imagine, but the fact that you all are still standing strong is a testament that God knows don't ever want it to happen. But if it does happen, I know that there's life afterwards. And you all are true
Exactly.
testaments of that. You
Oh, thank
true,
you.
you exhibit so much strength. And I just hope and pray that God gives me an ounce of the strength that you all exhibit.
Exactly. Now, Tiffany, you a
Yes,
co-host for tonight, girl. You is a co-host for
I
tonight.
am, girl.
So, is there anything that you would like to say to the moms that's on the panel tonight?
Yes, I would. I would just like to just keep encouraging you moms. Every day is different, every second is different. But I do know that with God all things are possible. I know if we trust Jesus in everything we do, I know that we will come out better than ever on the other side. Don't get me wrong, I
All right.
literally just had a meltdown yesterday. I told y'all I'm very transparent with y'all. I literally just had the worst meltdown yesterday. I yelled, I screamed in the car. My son will tell you. I yelled, I screamed. I came home for about 20 minutes and I just went just mad, just angry. I was literally talking crap to God. Like, what is going on with my life? Like, why would you keep allowing this to happen? What am I not doing right? Why am I not in line with your word? What am I doing? What do I need to do? Like, I was so upset and so frustrated. So I don't want people to think when they see me that, oh, she got it all together, or she no, 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 no. Let me tell y'all, this flesh right here, she clown, because I am human, and I go through and I grieve just the same way y'all do. But I want y'all to just stay encouraged and to just know that with God, anything and all things are possible. When ain't nobody there, when we there laying in that bed by ourselves at night or walking through that house by ourselves at night, it ain't nobody but God that sustains us and keeps us. And I just want y'all to know that I love y'all and I support y'all and whatever y'all doing. Y'all want to call me and reach out, we can pray, we can laugh, whatever y'all need to do. I just want y'all to know that I love y'all and y'all always got my support.
All right. Jackie, is there anything you want to say before we end the broadcast?
I love you guys too. I love everybody. And Tiff, your
Oh, we
teeth
love
look
you
like
too,
your
girl.
teeth are on like on pure white. Your teeth are looking flawless, girl. Look. I noticed that in the beginning. I was like, man, her teeth, and then you got the little shiny lips.
Thank you, girl.
Girl, get it, girl. Okay, Stony. All right.
That's my nickname. Me and Jackie got name. Well, I ain't got
Yeah,
no name for her yet. I'm still
but
thinking about it, but she called
yeah,
me Stony, y'all, from
she's
Set It
my
Off.
Stony from
I'm
Set It Off.
Stony.
Set it off.
Yeah.
All right, now, Stoney. Now, John Dale, is there anything that you would like to say before we end the broadcast? And you know I love you, John Dale.
Just keep pushing. Just keep
Mhm.
pushing.
Yes.
Pushing.
Just keep pushing.
Amen to that.
Yes. All right, Dr. Tyrese. I saved you for last. The licensed
Um,
therapist. Is there
yeah,
anything that you would like to say to the mothers?
I just want to say, healing is a continuous work, and the pain we have really doesn't go away, but healing is possible. And a lot of times, the way to heal is to do, something that benefits somebody else that is totally
Mm-hmm.
selfless. Because I found so much healing in that. Because I don't want to be angry. I don't want other people to be angry because it's not productive, right? There are ways to make it productive by doing something that really is about somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for our pain.
All right. Um, we are about to end this broadcast. Before we end, I do want to read this right here. This is my new friend, tribe called Us. She just lost her daughter to gun violence in June of this year. And I'm supposed to be going with her to court tomorrow. This will be my first time going and supporting a mother in court. It's something that I've always wanted to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that she offered, for me to come. She said, "This is really great to give me a sense of peace tonight before court tomorrow. This is really helpful.
Mm.
I really needed this."
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
So
Amen.
you just
God's got
never
you.
know who you're
Thank you,
helping
Lord. Thank
when
you,
we do
God.
these type of shows. When I
Mm-hmm.
have any family on the show, because we don't just have moms on the show. We have had a show with just a dad
Mm-hmm.
on here. Where his daughter, 1 years old. I think that was the youngest we've ever had that
Je-
was murdered on Peachy Tea Time.
Jesus.
But he came to represent. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I know that this is helping somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Mm-hmm.
it is helping the families to heal just as well. We may not be able to help you heal 100%, but we
The
can
beginning
definitely be a start.
Yep.
Definitely be a start.
I feel
or
like it's
along the
helping
way.
me heal because helping other people, I have found helps me. It helps me
Yeah,
heal by helping other
it
people. I
does.
mean, I might
It
be a hot
does.
mess and just a shit show at night, myself, but
Mhm.
tomorrow I'm gonna go and make a phone call to a sergeant or a police detective because that mom's not able to do it, and that helps heal me to help.
There
So
you
When
go.
you
it's like
talk
Miss
to
John
other
Dale said,
mothers
it's
about
that
their
push.
problems, it helps you a lot. Because it's like you telling them stuff that you wanted somebody to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
When you
Yep.
wanted somebody to say that to you at that time, and they didn't, but you got that ability now to say something to somebody else.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
That's
Got to
right.
Exactly.
keep pushing, like she said, because if you get stuck, then that's the misery of it, and that's the
Yeah.
that's the devil trying to keep you stuck in that same cycle. But it's the push through, because
we all, whatever it is, we're all good, bad, whatever, we're gonna all experience it. But again, it's that push, it's that even when you
Hmm.
fall, being able to get back up. And
That's
again,
it.
you ladies are the epitome.
Yes, they are.
I give
And
God all
again,
the glory.
Yep.
yes.
Hmm.
And so I thank you all so much. Tila, I see you out there, girl. Thank you so much, Tila. I appreciate it. Hey, Tamika and Carmen, BG, Mr. Terry was out there. Loria was out there. Y'all gonna see Loria next week. Cookie. Hey, Cookie girl. I remember you, Cookie. When you came down here, girl. I remember. But y'all, we are out of here. I thank you all so much for joining. I will see you all on Wednesday. I will see you on Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Friday. I will see you on Friday. And then we will resume again on next Wednesday with a
Yeah,
brand new Seven Mothers on one platform, raw and uncut, baby,
that's
with
right.
Miss Peachy and friends. That's Tiffany, Tammy, and Charlotte, baby. And we also gonna
Hey,
have Jason.
hey.
Yes. Oh, we also got another man coming on next week. We got another man coming. Yeah.
Good.
We have a man
Good.
that will be coming on next week. So
Amen to that.
y'all
Good.
make sure y'all come on and stick around and show support to these families. All right. I love you guys.
Love
See
you
you on
too.
Wednesday. Bye
Bye.
everybody.
Get out of here.
To hear a mother's cry.
Season like you don't know when it's coming. And when you have that moment, I just always tell myself, it's okay. It's okay to cry.
They asking you to understand that this too can be you.
Trying to prevent shit. I got two small kids. I don't want this shit to happen to them.
This city to be changed. It has to change for our kids. We have to start creating safe environments for our children.
And what are we supposed to do to stop this? It ain't nothing they can do to bring their children back. So what they trying to understand is, how do we stop you from feeling like we feel? We got to learn to do that as a city, as a community, as a whole.
Return, Peachy return. Peachy return, Peachy return, Peachy return. Thank you for watching.